Let's read from Isaiah 9 verses 2 to 7. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. For those who live in a land of deep shadow, a light will shine. For you will break the yoke of their slavery and lift the heavy burdens from their shoulders. For a child is born to us, a son is given to us, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. When I said I would take the thought of the day on Prince of Peace, because that's the title we're looking at today, a couple of weeks ago, I never would have thought that a little while after we would have had shocking news that would completely shatter our peace as a family and a church. And so many of us have faced situations this year that have threatened to rob us of our peace. And that's if we think about peace in terms of the world, as the way the world thinks of it. So a stillness, a calm, a quiet. But that's not how Jesus describes peace. He said to us in John chapter 14, verse 27, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Do not be afraid." So this verse on its own is amazing. But unless we really understand what Jesus' peace is, we can't really take it to heart. In Romans 8, it says in verse 15, "The spirit we have does not make us slaves to fear, but children of God." When we are a slave to something, we are controlled by that thing. And if we are a slave to fear, then we let fear control how we live our lives. We let fear stop us from living how God intended us to and taking away joy from situations. And it says, as we read in chapter 9 of Isaiah, verse 4, "For you will break the yoke of their slavery and lift the heavy burden from their shoulders." So Jesus has come. He came as a baby to take away our chains that tie us to our fear, our chains that link us to the things that cause us to just have that deep trouble in our lives and in our hearts. And it also says in that verse that we are not just no longer slaves to our fear, we don't need to let it control us, but also we are children of God. And when a child has a bad dream, they call for their parent, and that parent will come and hold that child. And it doesn't mean the memory of that fear, the memory of that bad dream is gone. The child will still think about it. They're still kind of living it. But they know their parent is holding them. Their parent is in control. They are there. They are with them through it. And it's the same for us, and even more so. We are children of God, our wonderful counselor, our everlasting Father, and our Prince of Peace. We are his children, and so even more so, he wants to come and be with us in our nightmare. He never said that we would have what the world defines as peace, the calm, the still, the quiet. He knew these trials that we're facing would come. He knew the fears would come. He always tells us that we will face trials. But Jesus' peace means we face them with him. We face them knowing that as his children, he is holding us, he has us, he has gone ahead of us. And we do not need to let the fear of those situations control us. Also, we know as our Prince of Peace, it says his government and his peace will never end. So not only can we have peace every single day, but we have the peace of knowing the assurance that we will be with him in eternity.